Right, I'm going to explain exponential smoothing, which is one of the forecasting techniques and highly examinable in production operations management, also in global operations and quantitative methods. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to forecast for the next period if you've been given the actual result for the probably the previous period, and then they're asking you to forecast for the next period using exponential smoothing. Here's an example. Mtali, the analyst suggested the exponential smoothing with smoothing constant of 0.1 should be used to forecast for the next periods as provided in the table below. So here's the table that has been provided. We're going to use this table to actually produce the forecast at a constant factor of 0.1. Sometimes they can give you a constant factor of 0.2, 0.5, 0.3. It depends on what the examiner wants to examine. All right, so let's get to the game. So now here we begin. If I'm forecasting for period 2, these are weeks, week 7, week 8. I can also rename them as periods, period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4, period 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, but then the examiner already named them as weeks, so I'll leave them like that. It can be years, it can be months, it doesn't matter. I just want to say if you are forecasting for the next period, which probably maybe is period 2, which is happening in week 8, you need to have the first forecast here. Sometimes the examiner will provide you with the first forecast. Let's say the examiner provided a first forecast as 100, meaning that will be your first forecast. In the instance where the examiner does not provide the forecast for the first period, you assume the actual for the first period is same as the forecast, so you just pick this 85 and put it there. All right, so in this case I'm assuming the examiner hasn't provided the first forecast for the first period, so I'm going to make the first period, which is period week 7, as my first forecast. I'll just move it from here to there. But there are instances where the examiner puts their own forecast, like say 95. It simply means that he has already provided. You don't need to move this number to here. But where he hasn't provided, there is no best number to guess, but basically you just move the 85 in period 1 and place it there. So that's what I've just done. I'm assuming that I wasn't given the first forecast for the first period. So now I want to forecast period 2, which is week 8. So the forecast for week 8, okay, or period 2, let me just say week 8, is dependent on the figures for period 7. So I'll say forecast for period 8 is basically forecast for period 7, meaning I'll need the previous forecast for period 7 plus alpha, which is the constant factor which has been given, which is here. And then I open the brackets and then I say actual for period 7 minus forecast for period 7, like that. So this is how it basically has to look like. All right. So others would say forecast for period 2 is basically forecast for period 1 plus alpha, which is the smoothing constant factor, and then you say you need actual for period 1 minus forecast for period 1. What do I mean now? What I'm trying to say is whenever you're forecasting for a period, you need to basically look at the values for the previous period, and the formula is very simple. It's forecast for the previous period plus the constant factor, open brackets, and then actual for the previous period minus forecast for the previous period. So whenever you're forecasting the next period, you need values for the previous periods, and the formula is practically very simple. It will basically be the forecast for the previous period plus the constant factor, open brackets, actual for the previous period minus focus for the previous period, close brackets, and just like that, you'll have calculated the forecast for the period you are looking for. So in this instance, I'm looking forward to forecast period 8. So I'll need the forecast for period 7, which is basically 85 there. That's the forecast for period 7, 85. And then I'll say plus 0.1, the constant factor, and then open brackets, and then the actual for period 7 again is 85 minus 85, like that. All right. This whole math I can just place it in the calculator, and the calculator will take care of the board math. So I'm starting 85 plus 0.1 open brackets. I'm not stopping anywhere. I'm just punching it the way it is there. So 85 again minus 85, and then I'll have answer. Then my final answer will be 85. So the forecast for period 8 is 85. I found like that. Okay. Now I'm forecasting period 9. I guess now you understand what is happening. If I'm forecasting period 9, I need the values for period 8. Okay, meaning I'll need the forecast for period 8 plus, okay, factor there, open brackets, and then actual for period 8 and forecast for period 8, like that. So now there I am. Forecast for period 8 is 85, which is that, plus constant factor, open brackets, actual for period 8 is 102, minus forecast for period 8, which is 85. Again, I'm punching just like that, 85 plus, open brackets, 85 plus 0.1, open brackets, 102 minus 85, and then I have 86.7. So I have 86.7 here, 86.7 as the forecast. All right. So there I go. Now I proceed to period. This was 9. I proceed to period 10. Period 10, forecast for period 10. I'll need the forecast for period 8. You remember the formula? No, not for period 8, sorry, for period 9. I'll need the forecast for period 9. Plus constant factor. Plus the constant factor, which is that. And then actual for period 9 minus forecast for period 9. Okay? So forecast for period 10, therefore, will be given as forecast for period 9. Forecast for period 9 is 86.7 plus constant factor, which have been given by the examiner. And then actual for period 9 is 110 here. The actual results are here, actual demand forecast there. So, and then we say minus forecast for period 9 again, which is 86.7. Okay. I like taking the computation as the calculator will take care of the board mass. It's quicker that way. So 86.7 plus 0.1, open brackets, 110 minus 86.7, like that, close brackets, and then I have 89.03. 89.03. Okay, so I have 89.03. I go, and then here I'm forecasting period 11. Period 11, I need the forecast for period 10. Forecast for period 10 is 89.03 plus constant factor, open brackets. Actual for period 10 is 90 minus forecast for period 10, which is 89.03. So I'll process that. 89.03 plus 0.1, open brackets, 90 minus 89.03, close brackets, like that. I have 89.13. So 89.13. 89.13, something like that. And then now I'm forecasting period 12. Forecast for period 12. Forecast for period 12. Forecast for period 12 will be forecast for period 11. Forecast for period 11 plus constant factor, actual for period 11 minus forecast for period 11, something like that. Okay, so now here I go. Forecast for period 11 is 89.13 plus constant factor 0.1, open brackets, then actual for period 11 is 105 minus 89.13. Again, I process that in the calculator at once. This will look like something like this, and then I have 105 minus 89.13, close brackets there, and then I have 90.72. So this is how we would have performed the forecast way from period 8 up to period 7, and the assumption was that the examiner hasn't given us the forecast for period 1, so we just shifted it there so that we can come down like that. Now what brought me all this way is one of the studying partners consulted to say how could we have come about a question like that. This was basically a potential exam question. So this was the exam question, and the examiner was simply asking for the forecast for period 10, the number which will come there. Now I did this sometimes because the examiner will give you the actuals and he wants you to forecast way through up to the end. Alright, so I've demonstrated this side, but as of this question, we're not even going to waste time, we're just going to calculate it under a minute, and this is what would have happened because the examiner wants the forecast for period 10. I would have said forecast for period 10 will require the forecast for period 9 plus constant factor, open brackets, actual for period 9 minus forecast for period 9. Alright, so we're not going to waste time, we're just going to calculate under a minute, and this is what would have happened. So the examiner was just looking at the missing blank figure, but as you can see, the numbers from where I started from, they are still turning way up to the end. 85, you can see there. I've demonstrated how the 86 came about. I've demonstrated how the 89.1 came about. I've demonstrated how the 90.7 was arrived at by the examiner. Alright, but then he didn't want us to do all this part. He just wanted us this part, and this is what we could have done. Here I could have just said 86.7, that's the forecast for period 9, plus constant factor 0.1, and then 0.1 sometimes looks like a 7, and I deceive people. Alright, so something like that, and then actual for period 9 is 110 minus forecast for period 9, which is 86.7, and then doing that, 86.7 plus 0.1, open brackets, 110 minus 86.7, and then I obtain 89.03, which is that basically 89.03. This is what the examiner was actually looking for in this exam question. So it just needed something which could be calculated under a minute, but I had to demonstrate all the way just in case you are given a question which is way too long than that. Thank you so very much. Kindly share the video and like my YouTube subscription if this subscribe to my YouTube if this has been of help. Thank you so much.